Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're taking a look at a company that's been generating some buzz. BWX Technologies. We're really drilling down on a question many of you have asked us. Is now a good time to buy BWX Technologies? Blue. So for you, our listener, we're going to try and unpack this. We'll dive into their fundamentals, valuation, the technicals, even what the market sentiment is saying. Our mission today, to sift through all the data, all the sources, and give you the clearest possible picture of this pretty unique player. But hey, before we really jump into the deep end, if you're finding these deep dives valuable, please do hit that subscribe button, give this episode a like, maybe leave us a comment. And if you're feeling extra supportive, perhaps consider buying us a coffee. Your support, truly, it's what lets us keep doing these deep dives for you.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is that BWX Technologies, they're not your typical industrial company at all. They operate in this highly specialized, you could almost say monopolistic niche, nuclear. So understanding those unique parts of their business is, well, that's really key to figuring out their investment potential. We'll definitely get into that.
Okay, let's start right there then. At the core, what exactly does BWX Technologies do, and what makes their business model so resilient?
Right. So BWX Technologies is basically a specialized manufacturer. They make critical nuclear components. They're serving three really vital sectors: defense, energy, and medical. Think about it like this. They're working in areas where it's incredibly hard to just jump in. High barriers to entry.
Okay, high barriers, regulations, expertise, capital, that sort of thing.
Exactly, all of the above. Highly specialized knowledge, huge capital costs, stringent regulations.
Got it. So being in that kind of protected space, how does that show up financially? Let's talk top line first. Is the growth strong?
Oh, absolutely. Their revenue growth has been pretty robust. In Q1 2025, for instance, they hit $682.3 million in revenue. That's a solid 13% jump year over year.
13%. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and that was mostly driven by government contracts, think U.S. Navy, plus their push into commercial nuclear. For the full year 2024, they pulled in $2.7 billion. And looking ahead to 2025, their guidance is, well, mid-single digits for government ops, but a pretty remarkable 50% growth target for their commercial side.
Wow, 50%. That's a huge jump on the commercial side.
It is. It shows a real strategic push into those newer, potentially high-growth areas.
Okay, impressive growth numbers. But, growth is one thing, profitability is another. How do their margins look, especially in such a specialized field?
That's a great point. Their gross margin, it settled around 20.93% in Q1 2024. That's actually a little below their three-year average, which was closer to 25%.
Yeah.
But their operating margin was 15.17%, and that was helped by keeping costs in check on those big naval reactor projects. Net margin stood at 11.42% in Q1 24. Interestingly, though, net income in Q1 25 actually went up to $71.1 million.
Ah, so efficiency is improving then.
Exactly. It points to good operational efficiency. And here's the interesting comparison. They might lag behind, say, a premium industrial like TransDigm, which has an incredible 21% net margin.
Right, different kind of beast.
But BWX Tech significantly outperforms a lot of defense peers. RTX Corp, for example, is around 6% net margin.
Big difference.
Huge. It really highlights that niche advantage they have in nuclear tech. It gives them pricing power.
So it's not just talk about high barriers. It translates directly to better profits than their broader defense counterparts. What does this all mean for the position in the industry long term? Are they basically indispensable?
Well, indispensable is a strong word, but they're pretty close in certain areas. I mean, connecting the dots, they are the only supplier of nuclear reactors for the U.S. Navy's submarines and carriers.
The only one.
The only one. That's not just a moat, it's like a fortress.
Yeah.
A huge competitive advantage. And beyond that, they're being smart about diversifying. They're moving into microreactors, medical isotopes. Their commercial side is aiming for really impressive 14–15% EBITDA margins.
Okay.
That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, a key profit measure. So you combine that diversification, the strong backlog they have for naval projects, big contracts like the Diraco missile system, it gives them really good visibility on revenue for years.
Okay, that paints a very strong picture of the business itself, but even a great business needs solid financials backing it up. How's the balance sheet look? Specifically thinking about debt and cash flow here.
Right, debt. It's always something to watch. For BWXT, it's maybe a nuanced risk.
Sure.
As of September 2024, total debt was about $1.23 billion. Net debt, so debt minus cash, was $1.2 billion.
Okay.
Their debt-to-equity ratio is 1.24. Now, that's a bit above the conservative 1.0 threshold some like to see.
Yeah, a little elevated maybe.
But it's not what you typically call high-risk territory. More importantly, their net debt to EBITDA is 2.8x.
Meaning it would take just under 3 years of current earnings to pay off the debt.
Exactly,
Hmm.
which is quite manageable. And their interest coverage ratio, a really solid 8.7x. They can easily cover their interest payments.
Okay, so debt seems manageable. What about immediate cash needs, their liquidity?
Liquidity looks adequate. Their quick ratio is 1.91, current ratio is 2.02, both healthy signs. They had about $55.4 million in cash on hand. One thing to note, though, their long-term liabilities, about $1.45 billion, they do exceed their near-term cash and receivables.
Ah, okay, so what does that imply?
It just highlights that continued sustained EBITDA growth is pretty crucial for them to comfortably handle those longer-term obligations down the road.
Look at it. Puts the liquidity in context. Okay, let's switch to cash flow then. How good are they at actually generating cash from their operations? And what are they doing with it?
This is actually one of their real strengths, I think, their capital efficiency. Operating cash flow surged in 2024, hit an impressive $408.4 million. That translated into $254.8 million in free cash flow. That's the cash left after capital expenditures.
Wow, strong numbers.
Yeah.
And they're putting it to work.
They absolutely are. They paid out $88.3 million in dividends in 2024. And get this, it marks 14 straight years of paying dividends.
14 years. That's consistency investors like to see.
Definitely. And it also funded strategic acquisitions like AOT and Kinectrics. Those deals are expanding their capabilities in medical isotopes and broader nuclear services. And here's a fascinating point. Their free cash flow growth in 2024 was almost 20% year over year.
Okay.
That actually outpaced their revenue growth, which was about 8.3%.
Interesting. So they're squeezing more cash out of every dollar of revenue, essentially.
That's a good way to put it. It definitely highlights strong capital efficiency.
All right, so fundamentally, BWX Technologies looks like a real beast. Irreplaceable in a key niche, strong financials, great cash flow. But, as we always say, even the best company can be a bad investment if the price is wrong. Which brings us, listener, to that crucial, sometimes uncomfortable topic, valuation. How does BWX Tech stack up? Is it expensive?
This is where things get really interesting and maybe a bit concerning if you're looking for a bargain right now.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at relative valuation metrics comparing BWXT to its peers, it trades at some pretty significant premiums.
Okay, like what?
We'll take the trailing price to earnings, the PE ratio. It's 45.51, the industry average, around 22.1.
Wow, more than double.
Yeah. And forward PE, looking ahead, 40.14 versus an industry average of 18.7. Price to sales is 4.70 versus 2.3 for the industry. Price to book, 11.87 versus 4.1.
Okay, so across the board, very high multiples compared to peers.
Very high.
What does that tell us? I mean, does it just reflect their unique position, or is the market maybe getting a bit too enthusiastic here? Limited margin of safety.
It definitely reflects that monopolistic position and their advantages, no doubt. But you hit the nail on the head. It also implies a very limited margin of safety for anyone buying in at the current price. And if we dig a bit deeper, using a discounted cash flow or DCF analysis.
Right, trying to find that intrinsic value based on future cash flows.
Exactly. A base case DCF model we looked at suggests an intrinsic value around $60.53 per share.
$60. And that the stock is trading around, what, $140?
Around $140.34, yeah. So the current price is exceeding that DCF value by roughly 57%.
57%. That's a huge gap, signaling pretty significant overvaluation by that measure.
It absolutely does. And even if you play with the assumptions in a sensitivity analysis, the fair value range comes out somewhere between, say, $48 and $78, depending on whether you're pessimistic or optimistic. Still way below the current price.
Okay, so the fundamentals look great, but the traditional valuation metrics are flashing red, suggesting it's quite stretched. What about the technicals? Is the price chart showing any signs of weakness, or is the momentum still strong?
Technically, the picture's actually quite strong. BWX Technologies is in a clear uptrend. Its 52-week range is roughly $84 to $145. And right now, the price is testing those all-time highs. Strong momentum.
Okay.
The current price, around $142, is well above both its 50-day moving average, which is about $117.53, and its 200-day moving average at $112.27.
So, confirming the bullish trend.
Definitely confirms it. And the Relative Strength Index, the RSI, which helps gauge if a stock is overbought or oversold, it's at 59.76. That's sort of approaching neutral. It's not yet in that overbought danger zone. Suggests maybe there's still some room to run before a technical pullback is needed.
Interesting. Any other technical signals traders might be watching?
Well, the MACD indicator, that's moving average divergence, it's at 150. That actually indicates a bullish crossover, often seen as a sign of growing positive momentum. In terms of levels, immediate support seems to be around $137.38, with resistance near $143.93, close to the recent highs. Volume is pretty healthy, averaging about 1.18 million shares traded per day. You see typical spikes around earnings, as you expect.
Okay, so technically strong, valuation stretched. It really sounds like the market sentiment is quite positive right now, despite those valuation concerns. What's the latest news? What's the general feeling out there?
Yeah, the market definitely seems to be focusing on the positive narrative. They recently delivered a strong Q1 2025 earnings report, beat expectations. EPS, earnings per share, came in at 7.91 cents. That's a 20% jump year over year and well above the $1.77 analysts expected. Revenue also beat by about $38 million.
So, positive surprises there. What are the analysts saying overall?
Analyst ratings are a little mixed, actually. Some have hold ratings, others buy. But the average price target from analysts is $129.84.
Which is below the current price.
Yeah, about 8.8% below where the stock is trading now. So even the analysts, on average, seem to think it's gotten a bit ahead of itself.
Interesting. What about insiders? The people running the company, are they buying or selling? Any signals there?
There's been some activity, but it's maybe not a strong signal either way. The CEO, Dividend, he sold a chunk of shares, 45,625 shares, back in February 2025 at around $107.40.
Okay. But large sales like that by executives can often be for tax planning or diversification, not necessarily a negative view on the company. We also saw some smaller purchases by other executives around the same time. So overall, insider sentiment looks probably neutral. Social sentiment data looking at places like StockTwits also seems pretty neutral. No extreme fear, no extreme greed signals really standing out. And we did see positive price action after that recent earnings beat, like a 2.67% jump. Okay, so mixed signals perhaps. Looking forward then, what are the potential catalysts? What events or trends could really move the needle for BWX technologies, short-term or long-term?
Right, catalysts are key here. Short term, the next big thing is probably their Q2 2025 earnings report, expected around August 4th. The consensus estimate is for $0.85 EPS. If they beat that again, it could definitely add to the momentum.
Makes sense.
Also, the closing of that Connectrix acquisition we mentioned that will formally boost their nuclear services capabilities, it could be seen positively. Longer term, though, the catalysts look, well, potentially much bigger.
Like what?
Increased U.S. naval expansion. More submarines, more carriers directly means more demand for their reactors. That's their core defense business. Then there's the whole global nuclear energy revival narrative. You've got over 30 countries planning new reactors. That's a huge potential tailwind for their commercial segment.
Right, the clean energy angle.
Exactly. And finally, their medical division, BWXT Medical. It's projected to shift to positive EBITDA soon. That would be a big milestone for their medical isotopes business, proving out that diversification.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The strong, almost unique market position, the solid financials, the positive sentiment, those future catalysts. But every investment has risks. Let's talk about the potential downsides. What are the key risks for BWX technologies?
Absolutely crucial to consider the risks. We can break them down into company-specific and macro risks. Company-specific first. Debt sensitivity. We talked about the debt levels. While manageable now, our analysis suggests a significant, say, 26% drop in EBIT could start to strain their leverage ratios, so watching profitability is key. There's also execution risk related to integrating those recent acquisitions, AOT and Connectrix. Making acquisitions work smoothly isn't always easy, and potentially some pressure on cash flow down the line from unfunded pension liabilities, something on the balance sheet to monitor.
Got it. And what about bigger picture external risks? Economic or political factors?
On the macro side, potential defense budget cuts are always a risk for companies heavily reliant on government contracts. About 10% of the U.S. budget is sometimes seen as potentially under scrutiny. Any significant cuts could impact their naval business.
Right.
Interest rates. If rates go higher, it would increase their borrowing costs. Their current average rate is around 4.2%, so hikes would impact profitability. And finally, for any nuclear project, commercial or defense, regulatory delays are just a fact of life. Permitting can be complex and take a long time.
Okay, so weighing all of that, the unique strengths, the solid financials, the positive momentum, the valuation concerns, and these risks, what's the final verdict? The overall recommendation for BWX technologies is now the time to buy.
Based on everything we've dug into, our overall rating comes out as neutral. We'd score it a 6 out of 10. The strengths are undeniable. That monopolistic position, especially with the Navy, The strong cash flow growth, very compelling.
Eh.
But those strengths are pretty much offset by that really high valuation premium we discussed and those, nuanced debt concerns. From a short-term trading perspective, it looks quite risky buying at these levels. The stock seems extended. However, for patient long-term investors, the underlying fundamentals definitely support holding the stock.
So for our listeners thinking about maybe getting in or managing a current position, what kind of entry or exit points does the analysis suggest?
Yeah, good question. For someone with a long-term view, the analysis suggests maybe looking to accumulate shares on pullbacks, perhaps in the $115 to $125 range. That's closer to the 50-day moving average and offers a slightly better entry point from a valuation perspective.
Okay, buying on dips. What about risk management?
For risk management, setting a stop loss around 107.7 might make sense. That's below where the CEO sold shares back in February. On the upside, for take-profit levels, short-term traders might eye that $145 resistance level near the recent highs. Longer-term investors, though, could potentially aim higher, maybe towards $160, which aligns with some of the more bullish analyst targets and factors in future growth potential.
So it really boils down to your time frame and your tolerance for that valuation risk, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's the key takeaway. If you're a short-term trader, probably best to steer clear right now. The technical suggests it's overextended, and the valuation offers very little safety net. But if you're a patient long-term investor, if you believe in the nuclear energy story, the defense spending outlook, then those strong tailwinds and their projected 12.3% EPS growth could certainly justify waiting for those pullbacks and building a position over time.
What an incredible deep dive. BWX Technology is clearly a company with some truly unique, almost irreplaceable expertise in a critical sector. Steady growth, strong cash flow. But wow, trading at a price that seems to already bake in a lot of future success, demanding quite a premium today.
Yeah, and it really brings up that important question for you, the listener. In this world that's desperate for clean energy solutions and needs robust defense capabilities, how much are you willing to pay? How much of a premium for a company with such a strong moat, such clear growth paths, especially when market sentiment seems to be pushing the price maybe beyond what traditional metrics suggest? It seems like a stock that really suits the patient investor, someone looking to play those big defense and energy mega trends over the long haul. But traders, as we said, they face a pretty tricky risk-reward balance at these all-time highs.
So the big takeaway. BWX Technologies is undeniably a strong, well-positioned company, no doubt about that. But any investment decision right now, today, really needs to carefully weigh that premium price tag. You need to ask yourself if you're a long-term player, willing to potentially ride out some volatility and wait for those big macro trends to fully materialize. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We genuinely hope this analysis helps you make more informed decisions for your own portfolio. We'll be back soon with another stack of sources, another deep dive crafted just for you.